My guest tonight personifies a veteran politician, a senior citizen, and a member of the National Resistance Movement political party. He has been part of this party and he has seen it evolve. According to him, the party and the government at large is moving away from its ideals. He has got the courage to speak up and challenge power. Tonight, welcome to the Hard Questions. My guest is Captain Francis Babu. Captain Francis Babu, thank you so much for accepting to invite us at your home. But thank you so much for being part of the show.
Thank you very much, and thank you for coming, and I welcome all of you and even the viewers.
Thank you very much, Captain. So perhaps let me start from a rather, you lost a son. Cedric was my friend, so I firstly want to send my condolences to you for having lost Cedric, and I hope and I pray that God will continue to heal you and get you out of this phase.
I'm extremely grateful. In fact, I'm grateful to all Ugandans. What they showed me at the church in Rubaga and what they showed me at the burial you cannot compare it. Ugandans showed me a heart, and they showed Cedric the support. The send-off was extremely respected, and the people were very good. And I'd like to thank all of you. And the media, fantastic. They gave me big coverage. I'm very grateful. This happens, it's human. We're all going to go. It's like being on a bus, your stage comes and you leave. I miss him very much. He was a very good friend of mine as a person and as a son. So we wish him restful, wherever he is, so that he can enjoy himself.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm sorry to talk about it. I thought it was an opportunity to meet you.
No, it is all right. It's still there. We still have a little bit of a problem whenever we look at his picture. Yeah. But it happens.
Yeah. I hope that you can move. All right. So, Captain, I've seen you over the last couple of weeks openly speaking about the system. And you have consistently and pointed out and criticized the internal democracy, leadership, and integrity of the National Resistance Movement political party and government at large. And I wanted to start there. Captain Francis Babu, you've been very vocal and consistently pointed out that the internal democracy within the NRM and government at large is failing. In fact, on one of the television stations, you described it as a broken system. Why?
No, thank you very much. I think, first and foremost, let's get the picture, the true picture. What I have realized is the interpretation when somebody speaks. Basically, what brought this was these unfortunate elections of the party. Not only this one, but generally all parties. Because we are going to the primaries and people are going to elect their candidates who are going to stand for different posts in the country. How it is handled. So I'm not going to only speak, people tend to think it is only NRM I was talking about. I'm talking about the political class across the country and their behavior. A party is a body that is there by law. If you like, the law makes a party. And therefore, you can form a party, I can form one, but how we manage it becomes extremely important. What apparently I was talking about, and this is what annoyed me, is a lot of Ugandans and all of us, we talk about symptoms. So-and-so fought so-and-so, so-and-so called so-and-so names. We do not talk about the issue. The issue, are we managing these parties well? Now, me, as a member of one of those parties, are unhappy with the methods of management of our party. Not as an individual, but generally we've gone off the road and the track. Now, the things that are happening, some of them are staining. First of all, they're staining the party, they're staining the individuals, they're staining our elite, and our country is being stained, and we become a laughing stock because of things which are done out of bad behavior. Now, what are these bad behaviors? And this is where people go wrong. I tend to say, what has gone wrong? Not these, not the result, the outcome of the bad things that have happened. What has made us reach this far? Why have we reached this far? Where people are bragging they have got money, where people are bragging they have got power, how have we reached this far? And I think this is where it becomes extremely important. This has been brought about by very simple words. The first word is corruption. Unfortunately, the word corruption is very difficult to define nicely. It's very broad.
So let me just come in there briefly. I thought that we could start at the party level because
Yes.
I think we've talked about the multi-party democracy. Now we're into political parties and we're now zeroing in to the National Resistance Movement Party. And you called it in your submission bad manners. Let's start within the NRM party. What are those issues that are annoying you? Those ideals that you used to stand for that you see that the party has changed significantly?
Yes. Unfortunately, if you zero it that way, it will not give you the picture. Because some of the parties you are talking about came out of NRM. So when you're talking, talk about the multi-party dispensation. Are we using it correctly?
Is it even there?
Is it even there? That is a very good point. In fact, you virtually answered. That's the bottom line. Do we have multi-party systems? Or are these things have become some other contraptions that we do not know? Now, when I entered the revolution, and that was your very good question, to reach where we reached, some of us entered it as a revolution, not as a multi-party dispensation. We wanted this country to come back on track. Because from 1962, when we got independence, up until then, nothing went right. I don't want to go into that's a conversation of another day. And therefore, the revolution was to bring back sanity into the systems. Therefore, the systems we got, we should have respected them and used them correctly. Now, were we ready, for example, in 2005 to bring back multi-parties? Were we ready? Had we built enough foundation to sustain the parties? That's a question we should answer another day also. Since we got them in 2005, how have they operated? How? Are they running the right direction that we wanted? Or something is going wrong? So when something happens, in law it's called a nuisance. Now these nuisances that are happening, why? And I think this is where most of our people have not yet sat down and said, wait a minute. Is it a one affair? Is it only NRM, or is it all of us as a political class? Because if you go back in history of our country, since we got to political parties, they've never been stable. The 1951 separated. The 1962, they started fighting. The 1980, they started fighting. They crossed floor, they did all sorts of things. So we come to these ones have left each other, young parliamentarian associations, PAFO, Reform Agenda, FDC left, FDC right. These things have happened. Then the other group, DP. Oh, no, DP is a good party, but we don't want somebody from somewhere else to represent us. So we start something called SUBI. Tomorrow we started Power is Power, People's Power. Then the other day we start another party. These are all in the whole system. So you don't look at it from one point of view. If you do that, you do not get the picture. The whole political class has got a problem in this country. Now, you can make laws. The little bit I learned when we were making the constitution, you cannot make all the laws to overcome all the problems. So you make a constitution, and in there you put a part where you can add or subtract whenever you feel it is going to help you. Now, did the systems we adopted in the constitution, are they working for us? Was it copy and paste, or was it originally ours? We have to look at a lot of things, and this is where people are making a lot of mistakes. And then they start coming up with all sorts of excuses. No, the problem is the systems are not good, and there's something completely wrong, and there are weaknesses in those systems, and we've left the track, we are in the bush. So we've got to come back on track and discuss.
What are those fundamental issues that you're saying that have made the system go wrong?
First and foremost, the American system we adopted, the so-called presidential system. Does it work for our country? Number two, should it have been a Westminster system, parliamentary system? What system should we use in our country? Does multi-party system work in our country? Go back before the white man came here. How were we running our countries? I mean, these were countries, by the way. And when Sekabaka Mutesa was writing his letter, the first inviting the Queen Victoria, he said, "We want you to come and teach us." They had the system already. The system was working. How were they getting their leaders? How were Mutesa and the kingdoms, Kabarega and all this used to get their leaders? How did they do it? And it was accepted. Unwritten constitution, but it was there. So, did we have spent enough time when we were making this constitution to get systems that would work for us? Assuming they would work, where have we gone wrong? So these are questions we need to answer now. And my saying the other day was, enough is enough. Stop it. People who have stolen money. In fact, Socrates made it very clear. He said democracy would fail. And one of the reasons why democracy will fail, because people will want to be something, and the democracy you bring will give it to them. The criminals and evildoers will use democracy to get power, and they will misuse the power and dictate dictatorship. Socrates, before Jesus was born. Are we as Ugandans, have we stopped to think that we are going wrong, including our leaders? By the way, our leaders, some of them know. Can we sit down and get the country back to normal? Because what is happening now, and Lee Kuan Yew made it very clear, one of the worst things that he fought right after they were thrown out of Malaysia Federation, he said we must fight corruption right from the word go. Because corruption is the evil to everything. Corruption kills the system. Corruption kills the people. Corruption kills the talent. How do we get rid of this bad vice and get our people to come and say, young people like you, instead of us fighting with you, instead of you being in a private sector, which is not bad, I would have wanted your brain in government to build our country. How do we go back to that? To go back to that, we need some people to be told enough is enough.
And speaking of some people, the person who leads this country is President Museveni.
Yes.
Are you trying to say that President Museveni, enough is enough?
No. Including me, all of us. And this is the mistake people make. It's not President Museveni who has kept him there for 40 years. All of us have kept him there for 40 years. So it is not one individual, all of us. By the way, when we talk about power, it's not the president. It is you who gives him the power. So let's get these concepts correctly. President Museveni would not have been there unless if we allowed him to be there. And some of us support him. And some of you don't support him, but the things you do makes him even more powerful.
Captain Francis Babu, you're a member of the National Resistance Movement Party. You witnessed as the constitution was changed.
Mm-hmm. I was
from
there.
The term limits.
Not changed. I was, yeah.
Well, you were part of the people who came up with
I'm the one
with
who
the
moved the term
constitution.
limits, by the way, if you want to know.
Say again?
To put them in. To put them in, it was mine. It was my clothes when we were doing the constitution.
Yes. During the Constitutional Assembly, you were there. The term limits were lifted before your own eyes. Because you're saying now for us to set the system right, we need to go back to the fundamentals. They removed the term limits. They removed the age limits. You have spoken up against it, still a member of the NRM. Why aren't you heard?
No. This is the problem, Mr. Serwanja. This is not it's not a click of a finger and things happen. There's a debate. And when we debate, I see we are a few here. A group will take this side, a group will take that side. According to you, according to majoritarianism, which is your democracy, the more people you have, they take the day. I might not agree with it, but the majority will win. So when you say that, it's like you're saying there's a group that has got force, they can stop it. No. If you want to be democratic, you've got to allow things to go democratically in the right direction. If somebody comes and argues and says, these term limits are causing us problems, and he gives his reason, the other guy says, no, I don't think they do. Another one says, no, maybe not. Eventually, one group will win. The question is, and this is what you should answer, why did they bring the term limit? What was their reasons? And they did give their reasons, and they won the day. But over a period of time, we realized maybe they made a mistake. Now another debate has to come in. This is democracy. That's what you people want. You cannot use force to stop things. You can only use methods of work that you have set up and the rules of the game. The rules of the game, you have a parliament, you have and by the way, this is where it comes in. You're going to say, but one man is forcing it. But those who voted were over 300 people. How can you put ropes around 300 people? So these are kind of things we must now reason out. How do we go back on track? And let me also ask you another question. Do you think it's the term limit is a problem or the behavior? Whether there's a term limit or not, if the behavior is bad, it's bad. How do we get back so that we can respect the term limits? I do not agree with old age, by the way. I think that is sectarian.
Yeah, but you see, we're trying to go to the issue which you said the system is broken, you described it that way, and we need to do something about it.
Correct.
And you highlighted something about corruption.
Yes.
Which was one of the first issue you mentioned.
Yes.
Corruption. That goes, did you mean corruption within the NRM party, corruption within government?
Across the country. Across the country. It's our behavior. There's corruption everywhere. Haven't you heard of certain parties where they sell cards to go for elections? Haven't you heard of a party where people said they were given money and they broke the party? That's corruption. And you stop having this phobia, it is only NRM. No, it is our political class, Serwanja, not individuals. All of us. That political class has got a problem, and we need to sit back and even look at our culture very seriously. And do not be told that one man is an angel and the other one is a devil. No. Let's find a solution to the problems we have and make it acceptable to all, the devil and the angel. We can't go on like this.
When you said that the NRM electoral process system is broken, what did you mean?
I meant that the same people, by the way, they had 72,000 areas where they elected. And if you look very carefully, how many went wrong? The petitions are 381. Out of the 72,000, you have a problem of 381. In terms of argument, reasonable or not reasonable? That one they can argue. The problem is not that. The problem is that there are people within the system, including NRM, who are misusing wrong methods to spoil the good thing that has been built. They've got a party constitution. There are people going around it. They have got people who are using money. There are people who are using threats. There are people who are using blackmail. There are people who are using propaganda. But how many are they? There are very few. And that few group is spoiling the whole broth, if you like. They have stained the party. They have stained the individuals. They have stained the chairman of the party and the sec. They have stained it because of bad behavior. But how many are they? If you sit down and look at where they had problems, I'm told one of them people like to quote is Zimbabwe. How many Zimbabweans do we have? 10? 2? 3? So the whole point is a very small group of people are giving a bad name to this nation. Forget about even NRM. Bad people. Those ones, regardless of where they were, whether NRM or where, they are bad-mannered people. And they are known. Serwanja, you're a very good investigative journalist. Really go and find out who is giving money. How many are they?
Can you say them on record?
No.
All right.
Unfortunately, I don't go that kind of...
No, it's because, you have alleged, so...
Not alleged. It has been written.
Then say it.
Not me. No.
So, but I wanted to go back to Why now? Why are you speaking out now?
No, I've been,
One could
no,
argue
that is unfortunately, that's unfortunate for you.
about this system.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
you've been more
A man
vocal.
who is disciplined does not go around announcing what they do. It's the same as you telling me what I did in my bedroom, I should tell you now. I have been talking about the issue of making sure we follow the right rules right from the word go. Even when you didn't hear about me, I was talking. But I was using, because I'm disciplined enough, I would go in the right fora and say it. Now, this time, they went out of the fora. They're the ones, then I followed them. I don't go around, you know, and if you realize I don't abuse people, I do not mention people's names. I tell them the issues, and the issues will tell you who is who. It's like saying you are putting on a beautiful jacket. Oh, that is Rwanda's jacket. Full stop. So I have told you what the problem is. Let's find a solution. I don't think fighting people is the answer.
Yeah, you've talked about bad manners and few people who are making this country look terrible. We were still looking at the elections, and you're saying, the elections are marred by money, indiscipline, things are not straight up. One could argue that you're looking at Captain Francis Babu, a wounded politician with a wife who has just lost primaries in Nakawa West. This is why he's coming out strongly to speak up against this injustice.
No, no, no. I've been saying this for years, even before these injustices. I'm not wounded. As you can see, I only have a sickness, but it's not wounding. Nobody can wound me. And Honorable Margaret Zua, Right Honorable Margaret Zua, sustains her own. The only reason why I brought Nakawa as an example is because what happened here was very childish. If it had not happened, I would not even talk about it. But that's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about generally. And the reason why I use, if I cannot speak about Nakawa, where Honorable Margaret Zua is, and I go and talk about something that happened in Teso, that would be very childish. I start where I am, and I talk about what I know. So that is I'm not wounded, but I've told you what it was. It's up to you to put it right or put it wrong. I've told you. And by the way, I'm happy. I'm told they are looking at it. So that's another point. Now, wounded about what? There's nothing. I don't want any post. I was given several posts which I refused, by the way. I wanted you to know. I'm not the kind of person who is enticed by posts and money. I'm enticed by a beautiful country, this country of ours. Entice me with your good Uganda, and I'm with you.
All right. Captain, I wanted to quote what you said a couple of years ago. You've accused President Museveni of being a loner who does not delegate in your different submissions that you made out. What do you believe should be or could be the long-term effects of this leadership style? Firstly, what do you make of the leadership style of President Museveni? I mean, you were in UPM, supported it. You've been a member of parliament. You've been a minister. You've been in Museveni's cabinet for quite a while. Does it still espouse the ideals that encouraged you or enticed you to work with him from then? Is it what you wanted it to be like? Is it still the same? Is this the same president that you were proud to work with years ago, supporting him with, all throughout your political career?
Thank you. Let me put it this way. First of all, what you quoted is not the way I put it. It was slightly different. And it was a particular thing. It was not a general thing. It was actually to do with the Kampala and its markets. It has nothing to do with that. Now, let's go back. President Museveni, in my sincere opinion, within reason, give or take, he has done reasonably well according to the percentages, if you took them. He's got his flaws, like any other human beings. We all make mistakes. Now, the president has tried. If you look at his history in terms of cabinet and in terms of leadership, there has been very big overhaul and changes here and there. He has tried every type of people in different positions to see if they would operate and give him the results he wants. Running a state, Serwanja, is not a piece of a meal. It's a very difficult thing. And a state requires a lot of work. Now, sometimes the president will do something and they go, why has he done this? The only way is to find out exactly why he did it, and it's not very easy sometimes for him to tell you. But I have seen, for example, President Museveni is the one, when he made the constitution, there was no prime minister. President Museveni introduced the prime minister. He wanted a leader of ministers, and therefore we amended the constitution and put in the prime minister. But from the time he got a prime minister, and I think you remember the first one was Mr. Adiebo. Remember? Cosmas Adiebo. And you see the kind of prime ministers he has had up to now. You can sit there and say, why has he had them like this? And why has he ended up with what we have now? Those are the kind of questions that can give you an answer to your question. When he has been in power, what has he done with the leadership? Has he given the people a chance? I hear a lot of youth saying they were not given positions and whatnot, but I've seen a lot of younger people become ministers and even become permanent secretaries. So that is also something that we must examine. So as a president, he has tried to run a state and build a nation which was broken. Our nation had reached a level of a failed state. He has got from a failed state from where he is now. He's having a few problems here and there. And is he going towards the failed state too? This is where we have to come and say, President, we are getting out of the way. Are you with me now? So, for me, I still give President Museveni credit, even after these years. He's done quite a reasonable well from the failed state where we were to where we are now. Now, we need to go from there to another level. Is the president willing to get us to go from here to another level? And how do we discuss it? And I think this is where people make mistakes. They don't give somebody credit where the good things are done. Yesterday, I was on a program on NBS, and I was very happy. And they said, oh, the tribunal has let the lady of Hoima, whatever it is, she has done very well, she has been allowed, it was done very well. I said, well, that is nice to hear, somebody appreciating something good done. But I want to check for me, how many good things have been done and we don't talk about them and we only talk about the bad things? The president, I would like to thank him very much. He was on television and he said there is a lot of broken system in State House. People bring letters, people do this. He talked about corruption. And this one of the NRM, he also said there are people using money, they were misbehaving. So the president came out. The question is now, was he doing it as a cosmetic thing or was he doing it really? Now, those who don't like him would do all sorts of things and put ears and noses on them. But the truth is, he said it. It is on record. The question now, can we discuss it with him in SEC or in cabinet, depending on where the particular thing goes to? So, to me, I think what is happening is that people don't want to discuss. They want to force. No, me, I'm willing to discuss, even with His Excellency, or with other people, even with the people of the opposition. Can we find a solution to our problems?
You've so far highlighted one problem,
Yes.
bad manners, that's corruption.
Yes.
Something that this government has struggled with, and the president has come out to say, I mean, he has, sometimes he calls them kawukumi, sometimes he has corrupt leaders, and it's something that he has failed to address. How would you want this issue to be addressed?
Has he really failed? Let me see. We've got the police, anti-corruption. We've got the IGG, constitution. We've got the State House, units in State House and everywhere. Really, he has tried to put up with all these things. And he has reached a point of telling you his own people are damaging the system. So, has he failed or we're the ones who have failed him? We better look at it from both sides. I think.
So what do you recommend, Captain?
I recommend we need to sit down and talk now and listen to people like Captain Babu and Serwanja. What is Serwanja's opinion? What is his opinion? What is that man's opinion? Time has come. I want all those things you have been saying. I want them on paper. I want mine on paper. I want the other man. Mr. President, what is going on? That's all. Nothing much more than that. We cannot do it otherwise. Otherwise, is to get a gun and start shooting each other. There's only one way. We need to find a solution to the challenges. The reason you went to school and you look so smart now is because they taught you to find solutions to challenges. The challenges of this country, we need to find solutions now. We don't need Baganda has a nice word. I like to use it. I know how to use it in English. Okusakiriza. Eh? We don't want to put fire into the whole thing. We need to find solutions. You know? What is the solution to our problems? That's all. The challenges are there. I agree with you. There are many challenges. But then we also misinterpret those challenges. Let us get the true challenges. Let's talk about them.
Yeah, talking about them. But even when we are talking about them, the people like you are even think it's risky to talk about them. You've been seen on TV saying, well, do whatever you want to do, bury me next to my son.
No.
I don't care,
When
but you need to listen to me. You
when-
sounded like, yeah, you want to talk about, you also know that there are repercussions.
No.
Talking about.
It's not the president and other people. They are people, small group of people who think they have the power of this country in their hands. They even go to the president and lie to him. They don't tell the president what they are going to say. Then they use people in the telephones to come and threaten you. Those are the ones I'm talking about. I'm not talking about His Excellency. His Excellency has never threatened anybody, not even me.
Have you been threatened?
No, there are people who have called me, yes.
Threatening you?
Yes. They pass through other people and they come and tell. Even this morning, somebody said, but please, we like you so much. Stop talking on television.
Are you scared?
Of what? Of my country? I love this country. And I'm not scared of any of you. None. I respect people. I respect my leaders. I respect everybody. I'm not scared.
There are people that have said these words now you're coming out to speak may have consequences.
We shall see. We shall see.
Do you think you're being...
And by the way, at my age now, doesn't matter.
Do you think people are listening to you? I mean, you've been saying...
One of the reasons why
you've talked...
One of the reasons why you're here, you listened to me.
Yeah. Earlier on, you had told me you were speaking, go to the offices, go to the different spaces that you were comfortable to speak about these issues and highlight them.
No, not comfortable. Those
you were mentioning these issues to them.
There is a protocol to everything, Serwanja. In our local language, you say there are things for the bedroom, things for the sitting room, and the things for the public.
By the time the bedroom issues come out to the public, then it means that they have failed to be sorted in the bedroom.
Yeah, and if you reach that level, Serwanja, you forget about marriage. Once they come out of the bedroom, then the marriage is finished. No, the whole point is, for many years, we have tried nicely to talk, even when they're making the constitution, even talking to the different groups. I think this will not hurt you very much. Let me say, I was one of those who would have preferred regional government to districts. I even brought a lot of proposals, but you never knew about them. But I went to great length. I went to institutions, our cultural institutions. I went to different people. I talked. I did a lot of work. Eventually, they put it in the constitution. There's something about regional government there, but they watered it down. That's democracy. But I went to great length as an advisor. This could help us to bring about sanity in our systems.
Speaking about systems, do you think that systems in this country are?
Some are not. Some are. If you took, you should always take a percentage. For example, out of 146 districts, how are we doing?
In terms of government systems and structures, as part of solving the bad manners you're talking about, experts in the governance space believe that once a system is strong enough, it can deal with all that. And that's what Lee Kuan Yew used, that
Correct.
you really speak to. Do you think that the governance system in this country is working and strong enough to deal with the bad man as such?
In fact, it's good that you brought that point up. Our constitution is, in my opinion, is copy and paste. We did not build the system. When we made that constitution, we should have started building from the base, going up. It's a nice constitution, but we need to build it. It does not happen automatically. There's this problem. People think things happen, oh, that's okay. No, you must put in emphasis and build them. We're supposed to have built everything that is in that constitution, right, brick by brick. In fact, I think the Kabaka's prime minister.
But you were part of the Constituent Assembly at that time.
I did.
So what were you doing?
No, I did. We argued. But that.
You were supposed to build it from this.
No. There's making a constitution, then there's building. There are two different things. There's making a plan for this house and then building it. If I make a beautiful plan and then I don't build it, the house is standing badly. I make a very nice constitution, then the foundation is bad, the house falls down. I am talking about after we made that plan, which is the constitution, we are supposed to have gone back and build it brick by brick. And this is where the problem, and then teach our people. Civic education, we talked about it, nobody talks about it. Nyerere told you that at independence he had 8 graduates. So when he got a government, he said, who do I put where? The majority of the people in the country were illiterate. What did he say? Who do I put here? Who can convince these people that we're in government? He brought a man called His Excellency Rashid Kawawa, who was a primary teacher, made him vice president. People said, yes, our man is there. That was building brick by brick. Then he said, we have 102 tribes in Tanzania. What do we do? He sat down, thought about it. He said, the only thing that can unite us is a language. The whole of Tanzania was not speaking Swahili, by the way. It's only the coastal area and coming up to Dodoma, Tabora area that spoke very good Swahili. The rest spoke their own languages. He made the national language Swahili and started teaching people Swahili. That was his first cement. How do I get to know you? The next thing he said, by the way, we are all the same. I'm in a suit. You're not in a suit, but we are brothers. Ujamaa, undugu. He started building it right from the word go.
We didn't do that here.
Where? We started abusing each other. We started fighting each other. We started calling each other names. You're a Muganda, you're a Mugisu, you're a Nyoro, you're the DNA that we didn't want became the DNA.
So let me bring you back. So the system, the governance system will not support the Uganda you envision.
If this was a plan, and that's where the constitution is, the measurements, the what, we need to start building it from the foundation. For example, if we had a district, when they brought decentralization, they started with 10 districts as examples. They went there. We are supposed to have gone a bit more than that to have people who make sure the right things are being done. That's where we went wrong. Here we have government. Is it expanding the parliament that is important or consolidating it? Do we build the parliament from the bottom? Do we tell the person, for example, Mr. Seranja, you're going to have an election of an MP. What do you think an MP does? So I tell you, the MP is a legislator. The MP passes the budget of this country every year. The MP follows that budget, oversight. The MP is the bridge between me and the government. So, first of all, now I know what an MP is supposed to look like. So that is civic education. It is in the constitution, but now we are building it from person to person. Another point that is very, very clear. Do I tell you, Mr. Serwanja, this is your village, this is your sub-county, this is your district. Can you give me a leader? I want you, Serwanja, in your village, to tell me who your leader is. Why should I impose a leader on you? So these are things we should be teaching our people. That if you gave me a leader, you would not ask that leader for money. Why? Because it's your leader, not mine. But if I bring a leader who has got a small sack of money, you're going to say, oh, so they brought this one. No, you bring money first before we can talk.
But leadership here, it comes through elections and a secret ballot and elections. That's how you define our democracy. That's
No,
that. I mean, that's
and that's a misconception. I am telling you, I'm not saying you should elect him as an individual. You should eventually elect him, but you should point out and say, in this group of our people here, I'm taking my place. I come from Mawokota. In Mawokota here, we've got some good leaders. We've got a leader here, we've got a leader there. Which one of these should we elect? So you say, some of you should decide we elect one of you. Then we go for the ballot. I'm not saying you should remove the democracy. I'm saying you should identify. You should identify who should elect. Once they come from you, corruption will be reduced.
I wanted to really engage you on another issue, which I think is important for us to talk about: transition of power in this country. What do you envision it like?
First of all, you are the one who said there's a constitution and democracy. So there's a process in that democracy, in that constitution which we have never managed to build. Let me now go back. The thing you are crying for is because of our past history. We have created an atmosphere that has brought us to this stage. You're asking me that our bad manners have brought us up to here, and we're now asking what should the transition be. If we had built our bases, the transition would be automatic. Are you with me? We are the ones who have created this situation where transition. Why are you worried about it? Look where you have come from. You have created a very bad streak. And therefore, you're now asking for transition. Transition is an outcome of your bad background. This is what we need to build now. If we build it nicely, every 5 years or every 10 years, transition would be automatic. But we need to build it. It's not, nobody's going to give it to you on a silver plate. We need to build it. We need to respect each other. In fact, the country we all like to aspire, America. America, when they started their democracy, the electors and the elected were landowners. If you didn't have land, or you could not even put your ballot in the box. And until today, the president is not elected by a popular vote. He's elected by an electoral college. Are you with me? Yeah. You have never said that's not democracy. But that is their system. Any system can work if you build it to suit you in a nice way. To go even further, it was not 2 terms in America. It came just the other day, a few years ago. After they realized something was not right, they learned from their mistakes. So, please, let us now build our system, ours. Let us build it. I'm not saying nothing has gone wrong. People have taken advantage of those mistakes, and they have created a situation whereby we're asking, what do you want the transition to be? I want the transition to be normal. I want one president or one MP or whatever it is. After election, he hands over to the other one. I want that one. But how do we do it? We have failed. We should have built it and respected each other and created an atmosphere of good leadership. All this one goes back to that word corruption. People use corruption for their own advantage. if it is money, if it is position, if it is why do you kill our talents?
Captain Babu, you've talked about, this system which is not even there, which you said, we have created a very terrible base that makes us even discuss issues of transition. If we had a strong base and created systems, then we would have not even had a discussion, because we know everything will go according to the constitution, that the army would have developed enough to support our democracy, that democratic processes are active and good to go and nothing to worry about. And yet you're saying we don't have that. The buck has to stop someone.
That's an English expression. It means nothing.
It's a leader.
No.
A leader.
No. It's all of us.
It's leadership.
You're
just saying.
Leadership is
what you're just trying to tell us here is that we have bad leadership. Simply said.
Not bad. Taking advantage of a situation is not bad. It's their advantage of their side, not ours. You see, bad is a very. If you define the word bad, it's terrible. A lot of I was listening the other day to a Kenyan group of people. Remember when President Moi was handing over power? When he left, they stoned his car.
Yeah.
Do you know what they're saying in Kenya now? We wish Moi was back. At that time, he was bad. Now they're saying, no, he was actually not bad. So it really depends. A bad is a relative term compared to what? And so on and so forth. But let me go and put it this way. All that things you said and done, misinterpretation, bad, good, those are interpretation. What do we do? The challenges we have facing our country, how do we find solutions to them?
All you've just said is we have to talk. Then after we have talked, then what?
So I'm very happy that you just said a few minutes ago, recently when you talked, everybody sort of said, hey, what has happened to this man? It was only me alone. Imagine if all of us spoke the same language. I believe in the power of a human being. This is our country. And we can reach to each other and listen to each other.
Captain, we are running out of time. What do we do moving forward?
Moving forward, one, we've got to ask the present leadership and ask them nicely, His Excellency the President and everybody, from what he has been saying and a few things he has told us, there's something which is not right. We have a few challenges to our nation. The President should get right people. Within our country, there are many. We are 46 million, remove half, 23 million, remove another half, 11 million, remove another half, we have 6 million people. Out of 16 million people, there are people he can get, and we sit down and find solutions to all these problems. Some of you are very highly trained people, and we should also get those who have been brainwashed by the West to start thinking African. Because some of you, when you talk as if you're in London. No. We are here. This is our country. We have by the way, all the leadership in this party came from Bunyoro. Did you know that? Serwanja? Let's get the good Bunyoro people. Let's get good Uganda. Let's get all these good people. Let's get them to tell us what we should do. Let's get our cultures to tell us what we should do. I want everybody to be part of it. And by the way, we have very clever people in this country. And if they were not afraid, like you said, aren't you afraid? I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to ask all the good people to come together so we can find solutions to the challenges that we are facing. And we should get away from misinterpretation and stop away from this West. Lee Kuan Yew said something, and I'll quote it for you. I studied in the West. I went to Oxford. I had legal training. I like the European system and Western systems. But they reach a certain point. At the end of the day, I'm Chinese. All these good things you are doing, even all these suits we are putting on, at the end of the day, we are Africans and we are in Uganda. And I like what Mbeki said, I am an African.
Captain Francis Babu, just perhaps before we can leave the show, if you had an opportunity to speak to President Yoweri Museveni about the very core bad manners that you talked about of corruption, because the systems are there, like you mentioned about the IGG who came out with a lifestyle audit and the president said, go slow on my people. We've had, people have been taken to prison, given for corruption charges, sentenced, they've been pardoned by the president himself. And all these are part of the systems to push back against corruption. If you had an opportunity to look him direct in the eye, what would you tell him?
The first thing I'll tell you, Mr. President, I'd like to thank you very much. Recently, you've been coming out very clearly that there are problems within the system. Don't you think time has come, Mr. President, that we review all the methods you've used to try and put things right? First of all the things you've just quoted, all the challenges we're facing, Mr. President, don't you think we need a complete change in our view? In fact, we need a renaissance, a renewal of our views. Time has come, Mr. President, that this and this and this did not work. Why didn't it work? We must examine everything you've done. For example, the corruption thing you've talked about. Why has this system we put out not worked? What are the reasons behind it? Can we find the answer to that? Now, once you can give him the answer, but President Museveni, when you give him an answer to something and he agrees with it, he accepts it. The few times I've been with him, he has accepted. He does not refuse. There are other people who might come and give them another pair of views, comparing the two. Why does he change? For example, you brought up this lifestyle audit. Briefly, if really we follow that lifestyle audit, do you know how many people would end up in prison today? Now, do we handle it slowly or do we handle it at a go? It's the way you handle it. Every time the way you handle something is extremely important. Recently in India, they changed the currency and they came out with a new decimalization of currency. The amount of money that came from outside the banks was more than what was in the bank. Money was being kept at home. I'm just giving you an example. So that is an example of putting things right. Modi got everybody in India to bring their money to the bank. And the money that came from outside, was more than what was in the bank. People came with trucks. So how do we put things right that have gone wrong? And this is what I would tell the president. I say, Your Excellency, please let's put these things right. Please. And the only way you can do it is to accept this was a mistake. And once the president says, yes, you are right, that's the end of it. It will be done.
Captain Francis Babu, thank you so much for speaking.
Thank you.
I've been speaking to Captain Francis Babu, a senior citizen, a veteran politician, and a member of the National Resistance Movement Party. He says the system is broken, but it can be fixed. All we have to do is talk, but talk to leadership that listens and is willing to adopt the proposals that we table on table. I'm Solomon Serwanja. Thanks for watching. This is The Hard Questions.